Good morning. Hello everybody. Welcome from Australia. My name is Chrissy and today I'm going to be giving you a prediction reading for the 19th of May. Now, I have got my two doggos here, so hopefully we can get through the video without too much interference. You know that my dogs are a bit high maintenance. Sprocket's very tired this morning, just wants to snuggle. So I'm just going to close my eyes. For anyone new to my channel, I just sent my guys' channel through to you and we'll just see what messages come through for the 19th. Oh, I'm getting the hurry, step right up. Come on in for the show. The show begins. Oh, I've talked about this a few times about the circus tent. It's all right, so about the circus tent and how you need to get your tickets and get into that circus tent to get your front row seats. Well, the circus is about to begin. I'm getting Sprocket. I'm getting that the grand show is about to begin. Now, I think for most of us out there, we could kind of focus this around the WHO information that has suddenly started to come out. Now, this is about the pandemic treaty, obviously, and sometimes it takes, something that major to wake people up. Now, I keep saying that people are waking up. It's jamming into my back. Because people are waking up. People are starting to question. Imagine finding out about the WHO treaty where they're going to globalise all our health and start having complete control of everybody's country. It's an overwhelming thought now that people just can't, like I said the other week, they can't look away anymore. They were looking away. We know they were, these people who were kind of waking up. But they were trying to not look because they didn't want to know they'd been lied to and they'd been deceived for, 2.5 years. And now the real truth is starting to emerge. Well, I'm getting that. Step right up. Get in that circus tent because the show is about to begin. I'll see what else we get today, but I'm definitely getting that the show is about to begin. And it's in, Sprocket. And it's in a really grand kind of, sorry guys. It's in a really grand, I'm just trying to get him comfortable. They're very spoilt, my doggos. It's in a very grand way. So they're showing me like the ringmaster, and it's almost like if you think of the movie The Greatest Showman, you know, he's trying to get everybody in ready for the show. Come on, everybody. Like the show is just about to begin, but there's still time to come in. Come on, come in for the show. And what a show. It's going to be the biggest show on earth. Wow. God, I hope this video is correct, that we end up seeing the biggest show on earth. I talked about it being the big epic film that was going to just be a box office blockbuster. Gosh, I hope so. But we're getting told now to get into that circus tent, get your front row seats and get ready for the big show to begin. Oh, I'll see what else we get today. Gosh, I hope there's a big show. I know you guys out there watching my videos are hoping for a great big show. It should be pretty entertaining, I think, this one. I'll see what else we get. Yeah, they're talking about that WHO treaty. It's that the pandemic laws are so extreme that people are starting to investigate this now. You know, I talk a lot about the people who are waking up in that middle section of society. You know, you've got us over here. We're sort of in, I don't know if you want to call it brave world, real world, fringe world, whatever we want to call it. We've still got to come up with our big name, haven't we? I'm still working on that. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. And you've got the people who are sound asleep, but then you've got this huge amount of people in the middle who are waking from their coma, rubbing their eyes, needing a drink. You know, this is what is happening now. This is happening globally. They're having to type away. They're having to investigate. They're having to find things out. They're looking for the truths of what's actually going on, and they're trying to piece this together. You know, I sometimes, I think I have in the past, when we were waking up, what I'm seeing, oh gosh, sometimes I get so much information I can't even get it out. What they're showing me is, for example, if you think of someone, police or detectives who are doing a criminal investigation. They put all the information up on usually either a pinboard or a whiteboard, and they pin everything together. So they have the string lines and they connect the dots, like this guy knew that guy, or, you know, it could be anything to do with like a murder or a gangster shooting. It doesn't matter what the incident. But this is what people are starting to do in their own minds, their thinking mind and logical mind that I talked about yesterday. They're joining these dots because now they're realizing, well, hang on a minute, this guy is involved with this establishment and he's making this much money, and that's going to Big Pharma, and they paid for the advertising, and they're being paid the media by this company. So this is the joining the dots. People are joining the dots. It's like trying to solve a crime, and that's the image that they're giving me for these people that are waking up. Not you watching my channel, you've already seen it, we're awake, we know what's going on. Doesn't mean we have to like it. But now these other people are joining everything together. It's starting to come together. Yes, they're kind of still in uncertainty by scratching their head, and like I said in my video yesterday, the clueless dumb blonde who's trying to piece everything together. And my God, they're terrible to me, aren't they? It's pretty funny though, I had to admit. So this is what I'm getting now. They're doing their own like investigation, their own detective work. They're trying to, it's showing me again, I think I said it a while ago, the big magnifying glass like Sherlock Holmes, trying to get to the bottom of all this, like what's going on. So people are having to do their own detective work. What's really going on? You know, they're looking now for the fine detail, and hence the magnifying glass. They're looking for the detail, and they're doing their own analysis and their own investigation, and they're piecing it all together. When you think of a crime being solved, all the pieces have to come together. All the information from the witnesses, all the information of the people involved in the history of the person or whatever's happened. This is what people are doing now. They're investigating, they're looking, they're questioning. I always talk about them questioning. This is happening. They're piecing their big investigation together. And that's a great thing, because that's what we needed them to do. We need people to realize what is going on. And you guys have contributed to that, because you've been planting seeds, sharing the information, just dropping those little droplets of information as well, and trying to get things out so we do have more of a voice. We know we've all been silenced. It's not just the doctors and nurses that have been silenced. We have also been silenced. We've been taken off platforms. We've been squashed. I mean, look at Joe Rogan. They tried to completely eliminate him, and all it did was give him more strength. And the people then became interested in what he had to say. So it actually worked in reverse. It's been pretty funny, some of the things that have unfolded in this crazy couple of years, isn't it? Because sometimes things backfire. And that, you know, that would be a good example to me, that Joe Rogan, of the hurdle put in front of government. They thought they could just roll all this out and steamroll kind of all over people, but it hasn't worked. That Joe Rogan thing became this huge hurdle that the government had to kind of overcome and go around, because people started to support Joe Rogan, and that's that support and the strength in numbers again. That builds our, well, you could say that blob movement again, moving forward. We'd become like this strong entity that people are starting to stick to, because they're realizing what is going on. And I'm definitely getting that today, that these people are doing their own crime investigation. You know, you think of any shows like, what are those investigation shows? I can't even think. Any sort of crime show, or any sort of investigation where they have to piece things together. Well, that's what these people waking up are doing. They're starting to sort of, it's almost like they're consolidating their information. So if you think about putting photos and connecting things on a billboard of a timeline, they're starting to consolidate the information. So if you think of a pinboard or that board, that's a very concrete a thing now. So this is what's happening. You see, it becomes back to their gut feelings and their emotions, their fears, but their fears are rising in a different way now. Their fears aren't just about the virus and things anymore. Their fears are becoming about their future and where this is all headed. I mean, China's in every second sentence. We know that. Now that puts fear in people, doesn't it? So there are people doing their own investigations now, and that's a very solid message today, that they're finding all the clues and they're adding this up, putting it on a timeline, figuring it out. And I think also we also have to know that people know, a lot of people, not all, but a lot of people know they've been lied to, because the information keeps changing. You know, 1 minute we have to wear masks, next minute the masks don't do anything, the next minute we're wearing them again. I think in New York you're bringing back mask mandates, I think. And also in Victoria, they're talking about bringing mask mandates back in again. Like, this is going on and on and on, to the point that these people waking up are now sick of it. It's not just us that are sick of it. I mean, we're completely sick of it. But, you know, we're the ones sitting back and heading into the circus tent. We've got our tickets. We've actually pre-booked them. We've had them booked for quite a while online. and we're in there in the front row, just, you know, eating our fairy floss and Dagwood dogs and all this sort of stuff. And that's the image that they're giving me. And these people are still doing their investigation. Just like detectives with the magnifying glass, like Sherlock Holmes, they're having to look now. You cannot look away anymore from things that are going to impact your life dramatically, especially your children's lives, and also your lives moving forward. Financially, people are just going to be ruined with what is coming. I mean, we already know how inflation's going. Gosh, here in Australia, the petrol prices are still going up. It's absolutely getting like, what's the word? It's becoming overwhelming for people to bear now, because, see, people think that things will move a little bit and then the government will step in and they'll, you know, ease everything off and stop, but it's not easing off. It's continuing. Prices are continuing to go up, and food is continuing to go up. You know, they won't leave us alone. And I think that's why a lot of people are starting to wake up, because they're like, because Russia and Ukraine, you just can't keep using that anymore, and climate change, and, you know, it's insanity. So that's why people are doing their own investigation. Like, they're kind of going, where is all this coming from, and why are we going through this ridiculous experience? And like I said, they're going, who's who? Who's the World Health Organization? What's this about a treaty? Like, people have no idea, and I know you guys out there are with me on this. People have no idea what the hell is going on. We do, because we see it, sense it, feel it, know it. It's a knowing that we have, and then we get fed that information to confirm what we're thinking. But now these people are getting fed that information, and I really do believe that is happening, and that's why we've got to head into the circus tent and get that front row seat. And like I said, we've had our tickets booked for a while. I'll just see what else we get today. I still get, oh, Sophie's Dale, she's talking. I still get Canada uprising. I just think Canada, you've got a lot of people who believe things will still change. I really believe that. I feel like somewhere deep inside of people, they're praying. It's almost like en masse, if you think of that energy of people coming together and praying, it's a vibration. So I do feel internally a lot of Canadians are like praying for something to give, for some sort of change. So it's almost like that. When I talk about Canada uprising, it's like uprising in their spirituality, because when you're squashed physically, it causes you to kind of focus on another aspect. So I do feel in Canada that people are really looking into their spiritual realms now, as in they're asking for support, they're asking for kindness, they're just wanting something to shift and something to change. And by their energy, they're kind of willing that, Excuse me, they're very tired in Canada. You know that whenever I yawn, that's a very good indicator of tiredness. But I'm getting that they're wanting that willingness for change. And that's the energy that you think of, the energy that's being put out in Canada. And look, probably everywhere else. I'm guessing in Australia, we're putting a lot of it out. We're trying. Anyway, we've got the vote Saturday, which is like 2 days away, because it's Thursday at the moment, and it's very, very overwhelming to just think, oh my gosh, that day is going to weigh so heavily on Australia moving forward, and what we're going to have as well is, you know, all you guys around the globe are going through these, Sophie, through these same experiences. You know, I know there's a few things happening in Sweden and Finland that, you know, there's probably a bit of uncertainty with some of the changes that are going on there. We visit the NATO. There's just a lot going on around the globe at the moment that it's very hard, I know, to stay detached and protect yourself. So that's something else that I'm getting, but that's what I'm getting. We're all looking to that. It's like we're looking up for that guidance, that support, that energy and that willingness, because we're vibrating on this different level where we're really needing something to give and something to happen now, because I don't think we can kind of keep going on like this. It's too repetitive and it's too exhausting for people. So I'm definitely getting that today. That Canada, as much as you're tired, you are rising, and you're rising and lifting that vibration, which in turn affects other people. So people are, it's almost like they're showing me like praying, like, oh, you know, please somebody do something that's going to change how we live and what we're going to be doing moving forward. You know, that's the image that the guides are giving me today. So I feel like there's a lot of that inner sort of praying in Canada. And look, I don't even doubt in Shanghai, I think they're probably beyond praying now. I think those people would be very broken in Shanghai. It's been inhumane what they've done to the people over there, and there's going to be a lot of damage in years to come for them, sadly, especially their children. Imagine them all locked up. I'll just see what else we get today. Yeah, the elites are going to be doing all the hiring and firing, but we knew that was going to happen anyway, because their big corporate industries are going to come in and just take over. They're going to be hiring people, firing people. If you're not a person who's going to comply, well, you're just going to get fired. But if you are a person that complies, of course, you can stay on. So there's a lot of this hiring, firing. That could be still to do with mandates. It could be just to do with people who aren't giving that resistance to government because they don't like hurdles in front of them, as we know. So I'm definitely getting there's going to be... Oh, gosh, we're so tired of this, aren't we? There's going to be a lot of hiring and firing moving forward. When it comes to big corporate taking over everything, we know that's going to happen. So they've already decimated and wiped out so many small businesses, and that's happening again, I'm afraid. I'll just see what else there is today. And my message for you guys is, look, just keep chugging along. They're showing me like this little coal train, like a real old steam train, and we're just chugging along now. It's almost like, I've talked a lot in the beginning of my videos this year about we're all on our own trains and we're at different train tracks and we're going down different paths or different tracks to where we need to go, our destination. But then I sort of said the train's halted, and I would say there's a very tired train out there somewhere, sleepy train you could call him. And this is, you know, that energy as well. But what I'm getting here is about the train is the messages from the guides is we've got to keep chugging along. We've got to keep loading ourselves up. It's like if you think of a steam train, you've got to load yourself up with coal and keep that fuel to keep yourself going. And it doesn't matter if you're going really fast or you're going really slow. It doesn't matter, because you're going to get there in the end. So you've got to keep just chugging along. And that's kind of the message from the guides today. And I think I'll leave you with that, because that's something that we all have to keep doing, is keep moving ourselves forward. No matter what's sort of coming at us, we've just got to keep fueling the steam, like the fire in the train, and that'll keep us moving along. And that's about looking after your health and your mental well-being and your spirituality and your strength, and eating well and exercising and being kind to people around you. Look at us, we all share our experiences on here. It's wonderful. and we don't feel so alone. So we're all like supporting each other. It's absolutely beautiful. So I just thought I'd just get on and do that little video today. But that's good if they're starting to do their own investigations. That's what we want. We wanted them to start to do things themselves. And we've merely just sort of thrown them that rope, kept the light on for them to sort of come out of that tunnel. And that's what I'm definitely getting today. I'll see if there's any last message for us today. Oh, this is good. Government's getting bedraggled. They're looking a bit unkept. It's like, you know, when your clothes aren't ironed and your hair's all scruffy and you're not polished. I'm getting that about government and politicians. They're not as polished as they were in the beginning because they know. It's almost like it's showing me that they've been walking down the street and people are like throwing vegetables and rocks at them, you know, like shame. This is kind of subliminally, of course, but mind you, I think someone was throwing tomatoes at Macron the other week, weren't they? Which was pretty funny. So this is what I'm definitely getting. It's like some of these leaders are looking a bit disheveled and just all bedraggled, and they're not as in tune and as smart as they were in the beginning. They're starting, but again, it comes back to that collapsing of the empires. When the information comes out, it starts to make you look bad. And that's what I'm definitely getting around some of these government leaders and parliamentarians, is that, you know, they're now carrying a lot of that shame and guilt of how they've treated people. Not that they probably really care, do they? Because, I mean, they're so self-centered, and it's like they haven't even got their people's interest at heart at all. It's just unbelievable, isn't it? I know to you guys watching my videos, we just can't even fathom that people could be like that out there, that you'd be voted in by your people and then you just disregard them like garbage just to get your money and your payments from Big Pharma and all these things, and you're silencing everybody, and gosh, it's so toxic. You would have to be carrying some sort of shame and guilt from all that, wouldn't you? You would think so. You're still a human being. I'll see if there's any final messages. Yeah, and I'm just getting that, be the star of your own show. So this show is our show. We write our own show. Now, if you choose to be in that audience now and watch the big show that's coming. Oh, I love that. I don't know if anyone saw The Greatest Showman. It was so good. It was just such a great show, and it was just a fun musical, and it was like a feel-good show. And it had a lot of strength in that show, because in that show there was a lot of characters that were very different. You know, you had the bearded lady, and you had the people who were of a different race. You had just a mixture of people, and that's what it was like back then. You know, in the circus, there was people that were different. But you know what's interesting is the analogy they're giving me, that we're the different ones. We are different because we don't see things the way other people do. We stand against dictatorship. We've had that strength and that bravery to stand up. You know, it's like the flags on the mountain. We've earned the right to sit in that audience now and watch the rest of the show unfold before us. So I'm going to leave you with that analogy today. And there's a great song in The Greatest Showman. I think it's called This Is Me. And, you know, what a great song. I want you to go and look that up today. And I think it's the bearded lady, actually, that sings it. And she's just being true to herself, you know, and she's found this inner strength. So go and check out that song today. I think there's going to be something in there that's going to inspire us today and keep us going, because, God, we need it. We're all so tired, and God, I've been yawning all week from all this garbage that's coming out. So just, yeah, that we've earned that right to go into that circus tent and be in that audience. We're not part of the show. Yep, we might be different. We might look weird. We might look like we're not, you know, being kind and helping other people, but that's not the truth. The real truth is what's inside us, and it's because we do care, and because we have come from that feeling place, that we are trying to reach out and explain to people what's going on, because we can see it ahead of time. But like I said, the investigations, they're starting to do their own investigations, and that's what we wanted. We needed them to do the investigating and piece it all together so they can come to their own conclusions. And that's where I'm going to leave you today. We're going to go and sit in the audience of the circus tent in the front row so we get the best seating position. And we're going to eat our fairy floss and Dagwood dogs now and just watch this all unfold because, whoo, it is. Now go and check out that song as well. This Is Me, I think it's called. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but it's from The Greatest Showman. And I'm going to leave you today. I'm going to take my dogs outside. I've got to go and mow some lawns. We've still got green grass here at the moment, which is weird. Normally we have frost and it dies off. They're both too tired to lift their head up. I think Sprocket's even too tired. You going to say goodbye? No. He's too tired. All right. Take care, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Like I said, I've got tons of self-help videos if anyone's needing them out there, if they're feeling a bit lonely and isolated. We have our up and down days. I know I get a lot of support from you guys out there. Danielle, Gail, Dan, Chris, John. I get so many beautiful people talking to me and I really appreciate your feedback and it helps me a lot as well because this is just not a normal experience that we're all going through. It certainly feels surreal sometimes, doesn't it? Anyway, have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll say goodbye from Australia, and I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye.